What up, YouTube? Team Movies here. Since he's in a very different role of Tyler Becky, which is the new horror film that's available now on VOD, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite Kevin James projects. Because, of course, besides movies, he has been on TV shows and all that. And I know the cool thing is to really hate on Kevin James and all, but I really get a kick out of Kevin James. I mean, the guy shows that he's capable of doing comedy. I mean, he also has a YouTube channel, which I'm actually digging Kevin James's YouTube channel. He's a really great comedic, like a stand-up comic, and seeing him in a role like Becky was unbelievable. I mean, that was a very unexpected role. When you think of Kevin James, you think of comedies and all that. Seeing Kevin James in a horror film like Becky, that was really odd to watch. But he was still great. I mean, I of course did my review for Becky. You could find that on my page. But with that being said, here are my top 10 favorite Kevin James projects. All right. Coming in at number 10, I'm going to go with the sitcom Kevin Can Wait. Now, this is a show that was a little bit of a controversial when it got released. Because you guys don't know, if you guys never really seen Kevin Can Wait, it stars Kevin James, who plays this retired police officer who ends up, turning in his badge, and so that way, he can spend more time with his wife, his daughter, his future son-in-law, and his other daughter. Now, of course, the wife was played by Erin Hayes, from Children's Hospital fame and all. Now, if you guys didn't really follow much of the story of Kevin Can Wait, season 1, of course, featured Erin Hayes as his wife, but when season 2 rolled around, they had this odd and very messed up storyline where his wife where they end up killing off Kevin James's wife and replacing her with Leah Remini, of course, from Kings and Queens fame. So that was a little messed up. I mean, killing off poor Erin Hayes so that way they could add another actress in it to make Kevin James look good. I always found that to be very messed up. But that aside, I thought Leah Remini was okay. I mean, she's a bit of a controversial woman in her own right, but I still thought she was pretty decent in season 2. Of course, it only lasted for only 2 seasons. Got canceled after season 2. And they also had a few other cool guest spots, like Bass Rudin was, of course, UFC fighter. He had a role in this. Adam Sandler, Ray Romano had a couple of cameos in this. I believe Ralph Macchio also had a cameo in this in one episode, if I'm not mistaken. Kevin Can Wait was a much better sitcom than most people gave it credit for. I mean, it wasn't, a great show or anything, but I still got a kick out of it. Alright. Coming in at number 9, it's another bit of a film that's going to be very unpopular to say, but I really got a kick out of this movie, and that is Pixels. Of course, Pixels was a 2015 film directed by Home Alone and Harry Potter director Chris Columbus. I love Pixels. I mean, of course, this stars Adam Sandler. You had Kevin James as the President of the United States. I mean, Kevin James as President, I've always found that to be a little weird. I mean, who will literally vote for this guy? Proves that again, I'm not always too surprised of who people vote for as President nowadays, but I'm not getting into politics, so... Of course, you had, Josh Gad. Of course, they play 3 childhood friends who must, defeat these, video games that's are destroying the earth. Like, they gotta take down Pac-Man, Donkey Kong. You also had Peter Dinklage, who played a Donkey Kong master. Peter Dinklage was awesome in this. You also had Sean Bean, who, spoiler, did not actually die in this movie. You had Brian Cox was in this. Cameos by Martha Stewart, Serena Williams. Pixels did not really get great reviews when it got released, and it completely flopped when it opened. But I really got kicked out Pixels. I know the cool thing is to say Pixels sucks and all that, but Pixels is much better than people gave it credit for. I'm sorry. I know it's the cool thing is you hate on Pixels and all that, but I really got kicked out of it. And Kevin James, Adam Sandler, and Josh Gad all had really good chemistry with one another. Oh, and not to mention Michelle Monaghan was in it, so. Alright. Coming in at number 8, it's another film that lots of people will probably disagree with me about. This is more of a guilty pleasure of mine, but I kind of got kicked out of it. Number 8, I'm going to go with Zookeeper, starring Kevin James as a zookeeper. Sorry. Of course, Kevin James plays this zookeeper named Griffin Hayes, who's of course this caretaker at Franklin Park Zoo, and he wants to try to get his girlfriend back, played by Leslie Bibb, and he wants to play it cool. And so the animals who ends up talking to him, I guess you could say it has a bit of a night at the museum feel with animals, and they are trying to help him woo the ladies and all, and trying to be very cool and hip. And it also has a very besides voices, you also had Joe Rogan was literally in this film, Leslie Bibb, Ken Jeong, Rosario Dawson, Donnie Wahlberg. They all played the human characters, but the voice talent in this was insane. I mean, you had Adam Sandler voicing a monkey, Sylvester Stallone and Cher both voicing lions. You had the aforementioned Bas Rutten. You also had, who else was in this? Oh, you had Judd Apatow. You had Jon Favreau, Faison Love. Don Rickles voiced a bullfrog. What an insane voice cast that was in this. And Zookeeper did not really get much love when it got released, but I always found Zookeeper to be very charming, cute. It felt like Dr. Dolittle meets A Night at the Museum in a weird way. I don't know why so many people hate it so much. I didn't mind it. It was much better than I really thought it was pretty awesome. And if you guys haven't really seen Zookeeper, I'll just say give it a shot. But there are the cool thing is you hate on this movie, but Zookeeper is. I really get kicked out of this film, so I'm sorry. That's just me. Alright, number 7, I'm going to go with the Ron Howard film, The Dilemma. Now, it stars Vince Vaughn and Kevin James, who plays these lifelong friends, Ronnie and Nick, who are partners in this auto design firm. But Ronnie ends up discovering that Nick's wife is dating another man, so he has a couple of dilemmas. Try to tell him about what his wife is doing and all that, or possibly have a chance of losing his friendship as well, because there's a couple of dilemmas he has in this. The dilemma is really funny. Ron Howard. I thought Ron Howard did a pretty good job at directing. You had a really good cast in this. You had, besides James and besides Kevin James and Vince Vaughn, you also had Jennifer Connelly, Channing Tatum. This is actually the movie that made me go, Channing Tatum could do comedy well. And of course, since then, he did 21 Jump Street and all. Tatum was great. You also had Winona Ryder, Queen Latifah. And, when The Dilemma got released, believe it or not, this is a bit, this might be off the rail. I guess I didn't remember him. But, fun fact, when The Dilemma was getting released and Queen Latifah was being interviewed for this movie, on this thing called Reels Channel, they actually had celebrities actually answer our Facebook questions and all. And when Queen Latifah and Channing Tatum was being interviewed for The Dilemma, cool thing is, fun fact, Queen Latifah literally answered my Facebook question on national TV. That was, and she was being interviewed by Channing Tatum, so Channing Tatum heard my name as well. So that was a bit a little throwback segment for you guys. But anyway, that being said, I really quite like the chemistry between Vince Vaughn and Kevin James. Those two really, I know Kevin James and Vince Vaughn really play off each other well. They have some good chemistry for one another. I mean, if you guys never really seen The Dilemma, it is a really underrated film. Like, it does not really get much love as it should have, but I thought it was pretty decent. Alright, number 6, I'm going to go with Here Comes the Boom. Here Comes the Boom is, of course, a MMA comedy, and of course, you also had Boss Rudin was in this. Joe Rogan, of course, had a cameo in this. You also had Henry Winkler, Salma Hayek. Here, of course, you got Kevin James who portrays this biology teacher named Scott Voss, who's also now family at a job and all that. So when cutbacks threaten the school's music program and its teacher, played by Henry Winkler, Scott wants to try and make money to for the school funds, and so he decides to in order to make easy money, he decides to become a mixed martial artist. I mean, Kevin James as a MMA fighter, who would ever expect that? I mean, you would not expect Kevin James to be you would definitely not expect Kevin James as an MMA fighter, and I thought Kevin James was pretty decent in this. Of course, you get the song "Here Comes the Boom" stuck in your head. They don't really do many, like MMA and UFC is a very popular sport, but they don't really do as many films about as they should. Like, of course they had a Warrior and all that, but that aside, Here Comes the Boom is such a funny one. I mean, Kevin James has some pretty cool stunts he used. I mean, whoever knew that Kevin James had in him at, some cool fight scenes. I know Kevin James was awesome in this. Of course, Salma Hayek was great. It was pretty cool seeing Joe Rogan pop up in this. That was pretty cool there. But yeah, if you guys haven't really seen Here Comes the Boom yet, go check it out. It's a really funny one. I read mine with my teeth. Coming in at number 5 is another film that might be unpopular, but that's my YouTube page. I don't care what you say, what's unpopular or not. Number 5, I'm going to go with one of James's most popular characters, and that is Paul Blart Mall Cop. I don't care what anyone says. Paul Blart Mall Cop is awesome. I also did my part too, but it wasn't as good as Paul Blart. And Kevin James, of course, plays as a suburban father who ends up working as a mall cop security. And, of course, he does his job on a Segway. And, of course, you had the late, great Shirley Knight was in this. Jayma Mays from Glee fame. Paul Blart Mall Cop also got released the same year as another Mall Cop-based movie, which was that Seth Rogen film, Observer Report, which, if you guys never seen Observer Report, that movie is pretty awesome, too. But Paul Blart is... Kevin James is very dim-witted in this role, but he plays Paul Blart really well. I like the father and daughter chemistry between him and his daughter, who, by the way, his daughter is Modern Family actor Riga Rodriguez's sister, Randy Rodriguez, who was, of course, on Austin and Ally. Anyway. Yeah, Paul Blart does not really get the best reviews when it got released. Like, lots of people hated Paul Blart Mall Cop, but me, I really got kicked out of it. And if you guys haven't really seen Paul Blart Mall Cop, I'll say go give it a watch. It's not a great film, but it's much better than critics may actually. Alright. Coming in at number 4, I'm going to go with the Adam Sandler and Kevin James comedy, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. I will say this one thing. This movie would not get made today. But that aside, I now pronounce it Chuck and Larry. It's funny. I mean, there are some offensive moments in this film, like Rob Schneider playing like this Chinese, let's just say a Japanese priest. Well, Rob Schneider always playing any sort of Japanese character. Usually, always, a bit offensive and racist once in a while. But I really love Rob Schneider in this. Of course, if you guys don't know what Chuck and Larry is about, you know, Adam Sandler and Kevin James plays these firefighters who are also best friends. And of course, their name is Chuck and Larry. And so, like, when Kevin James's character Larry, he his wife ends up dying, and he learns that he cannot name his children benefactor on his life insurance policy. So he ends up having a big favor from his friend Chuck, played by Adam Sandler, to literally phone to pretend to be gay. And of course, you got Jessica Biel, who plays their lawyer in this. And of course, they end up getting caught for forgery. They could end up going to jail. Of course, you had Steve Buscemi was in this, who was pretty good. You even had Dan Aykroyd. And fun fact, the fire station, that was literally the same firefighter station that they shot Ghostbusters in. So I always found it funny that they got Dan Aykroyd to play their firefighter captain, because that was the same firehouse that Ghostbusters was shot in. So I always thought that was pretty cool. Of course, you had what other films do you ever see where you'll see Ving Rhames and Nick Swartzen get married? That's what you get with this. I mean, yeah, Ving Rhames and Nick Swartzen actually gets married in this movie. That was really awkward to watch. I mean, but Chuck and Larry is, it did not really get the best reviews when it got released. Like, it did not really get the best response. But I simply saw a guy kick out Chuck and Larry, and the dynamic chemistry between Adam Sandler and Kevin James was pretty good. Oh, another person who still lost scenes was Mary Pat Gleason, who tragically passed away recently, so R.I.P. Mary Pat Gleason. Anywho, Chuck and Larry is just a really funny one. If you guys haven't really seen Chuck and Larry, like I said, it's a film that's not that most people nowadays might find offensive. Well, actually, it was a bit offensive when it got released too, but that aside, Chuck and Larry is a much funnier movie than people give it credit for. It's like a little circle. Oh, Rob Schneider was hilarious in that. And Jessica Biel, who just does not adore Jessica Biel. Justin Timberlake is one lucky dude. Anywho, number 3, I'm going to go with another film with Adam Sandler and Kevin James, and that is, of course, Grownups. Grownups, of course, I talked about this film a little bit when I was talking about David Spade's work. Grownups, I love. You got, of course, you got the 5 leads played by Adam Sandler, Kevin James, David Spade, Chris Rock, and Rob Schneider, whose, childhood coach, played by Blake Clark, ends up dying. So they end up going to their old lake house and to spend time with their family and friends and all that. This is really a movie, an excuse for Adam Sandler to, work with his best friends. And lots of people always call Adam Sandler out on that, but I really always like the chemistry that they all share. I mean, Adam Sandler was, worked so well with Chris Rock. He worked so well with Rob Schneider. Kevin James and Adam Sandler both had great chemistry. So if he wants to do movies with his buddies, why not? Come on. He's allowed to make movies with his buddies. And of course, here you got Maria Bella, who plays Kevin James's wife. You also had Salma Hayek was also in this. It's directed by Dennis Dugan. Yeah, Grownups is much funny. Like, I really love this movie. I mean, come on, Kevin James also introduced us to the Blart thing, the scene where he ends up burping, farting, and all that at the same time. I don't ever try that in real life, but anywho. Of course, who ever seen another movie where Kevin James actually, urinates in a pool and it turns blue? Yeah, that scene was weird to watch, but there's some gross out humor in this. But, of course, the most weirdest gross out humor was Rob Schneider marrying an older lady. I always found that should be a little weird, but that aside, Grownups is hands down awesome. And I also got a kick out of Grownups too. And I'll be down to check out the third one, Anywho. Number 2, I'm going to go with Hitch. course, Hitch is the comedy that stars Will Smith, Kevin James. Oh, speak of, check out Kevin James's I Am Legend YouTube video. That was pretty cool right there. Anyway, uh, Hitch is awesome. You know, of course, you got Will Smith, who plays his dating coach named Alex Hitchens, who ends up mentoring this bubbly client played by Kevin James, who hopes to win the heart of this gorgeous woman, Allegra Cole, played by Emma Valletta. And it's, of course, you got Ava Mendes was in this. Hitch is hilarious. I mean, this the on-scene chemistry with Will Smith and Kevin James was pretty cool to watch. Ava Mendes was really cool in this. You know, this has some really fun, laugh-out humor. I should have Will Smith and Kevin James never done another film before, like together before. Those should really play off each other well. And you know, I believe it's Ava Mendes actually once, you know, sort of once hinted a Hitch sequel, but sadly I don't think that will ever happen. I mean, if Will Smith did not come back for an Independence Day sequel, what makes you think he'll come back for a Hitch sequel? Come on. Anywho, yeah, the film Hitch is a really fun one. If you guys haven't really seen Hitch by now, go check it out. And fingers crossed we see Will Smith and Kevin James do another film together, because those two really play off each other well. I mean, whoever thought that, you know, The Fresh Prince and King of Queens will work so well together. Anywho.
I was with my friend.
Speaking of King of Queens, obviously we know what number one is. Number one goes to its classic TV show, and R.I.P. Jerry Stiller, by the way. Number one, I'm going to go with Kings of Queens. Of course, here you have Kevin James as his bus driver. I guess you could say it was like a bit of an modern Honeymooners in a way. And of course, you got Leah Remini as his wife. You got the late great Jerry Stiller as Doug Heffernan's father-in-law. Jerry Stiller was awesome in this. I mean, rest in peace, Jerry Stiller. He was one of the funniest icons there was. And obviously, Jerry Stiller is best known for Seinfeld. But his other best role is definitely in Kings of Queens. His scenes with Kevin James is great. You know, of course, you had Gary Valentine was also in this, who I believe he's Kevin James' brother, if I'm not mistaken. Those two done so many films together. Of course, Leah Remini, who I know it's cool to hate on Leah Remini because, she's in Scientology and all that. But Leah Remini is really a doll on Kings of Queens. The chemistry between Leah Remini and Kevin James is always really fun to watch. And like I said, of course, Leah Remini had a bit of a guest spot on, ended up replacing Aaron Hayes on Kevin Can Wait, which, like I said, got so much controversy. But I'll be down to see a revival of Kings of Queens. I mean, seeing Kevin James back as Doug Heffernan, it'll be cool to see, where they've been after all these years. Yeah, if you guys haven't really seen Kings of Queens by now, do yourself a favor, go watch it. It's a really funny show. I mean, they show reruns, you can find reruns on TBS, TV Land. It's a show that still holds up. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10, Kevin Can Wait. 9, Pixels. 8, Zookeeper. 7, The Dilemma. 6, Here Comes the Boom. 5, Paul Blart Mall Cop. 4, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. 3, Grownups. 2, Hitch. And number 1, Kings of Queens. Now he's been in loads of other stuff over the years as well. Let's see. He was in this not-so-good Netflix comedy titled True Memoirs of an International Assassin, which was not so good. Let's see. He also voiced Frankenstein in Hotel Transylvania 1 and 2. He was in 51st Dates. He had a cameo in Barnyard. He was in the Adam Sandler Netflix movie Sandy Wexler. He was in Monster House, Little Boy. He was in Grill with Ray Romano. He had a part in My Baby's Daddy. Wow, that movie was pretty funny. He's also in this new movie called Hubie Halloween with Adam Sandler, which is like a Netflix Halloween movie I'm kind of interested in. He has a new Netflix show coming called The Crew. That actually sounds interesting. But let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite Kevin James projects? Like whether it's TV projects like Kings of Queens or Kevin Can't Wait, or have you ever been a fan of his film work? Like, did you actually like Paul Blart? Did you like Pixels, Zookeeper, Hitch, etc.? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here's Timu signing off.